Hi everybody, welcome to the studio. Gary Olsen here, and I have a little friend with me. Oh, how you doing? Oh. Yeah, she's adorable, and we're going to do her portrait. This is Ruby Sue. We named her after the character in Christmas Vacation, you know, the little girl, Randy Quaid's daughter. Clark Griswold says to Ruby Sue, "Ruby Sue, your eyes aren't crossed." And of course Randy offers the explanation. She falls in a well, her eyes cross, gets kicked by a mule, they go back to normal. Anyhow, cute movie and a cute puppy. She's a Yorkie and Maltese mix, so that would make her a Morkie. You get ready to get started? You're not going to hold still for me, so I had to take a picture. And here it is, and I got it all gridded up. I use Artist Grid. It's a great program on my phone. I can take a picture and throw a grid over it in an instant. And the grid provides me an opportunity. As you can see, I've drawn it out on the canvas in the back, a 9x12 canvas with 3-inch squares. And it gives me a chance to establish the landmarks on the dog's face, because we're going to do a pretty tight portrait, so eyes and the nose position and everything else, and all the little fuzzy tendrils of hair. So thanks for joining me in the studio today for another dog portrait. Ruby Sue, I love you. There's our reference. Here's our canvas, and here's our palette. I have a variety of colors for no reason other than I like to experiment, and so I have a lot of different brands of paint. Right there you see Winsor Newton Prussian Blue. It's right there on the left. That's what that looks like. We're working on the grays or middle tones right now, and the next color you see next to that is Payne's Gray, followed by Dioxazine Purple. And there's Asphaltum. Right here is a real interesting color. This is my mid-tones that I'm using. Transparent yellow oxide on the right, followed by asphaltum, that mess up on the upper left-hand corner. But I'm trying to mix this middle tone, this middle tan color that I need for parts of the hair. And then, of course, white. Okay, here are my brushes. And I have a what's called a saber. It's a tapered brush. As you can see, it doesn't come to a point, but it does come to an angle, an edge that I can use to do a thick and thin line as I paint. Does that make sense at all? I have various sizes of that. It's a synthetic, and it's very, very good. This is a hog bristle brush right here. This is a highly textured brush, and it imbibes texture to each paint stroke I use it on. I love using it for the backgrounds, but I also use it to rough in areas of paint that I want to look impressionistic, I guess you might say. And this, of course, is a synthetic brush for blending. Comes to a square, as you can see, square edge. And I confess most of the brushes I have are like this. It comes from my background in hand lettering and things like that. I can control this brush, and I can use it to do strokes like this, or I can use it to do fill-in by just turning the brush. There you go. So we're going to speed up the playback a little bit so that this takes about 10 minutes, but in reality it probably takes about an hour and a half. So nobody wants to sit that long. Well, as you can see, I start out with a black canvas, and the reason for that is I like working dark to light. Right now I'm painting the landmarks, the eye, left eye, right eye, where the mouth is and the nose. And I'm using just a light black wash of color, and because all I'm really doing is establishing some landmarks. Okay, as you can see, I started with the eyes. The eyes are the most important. You want to get them in the right position in relationship to the nose and everything else. And as you can see, I'm starting now to get a pretty good idea what the dog is going to look like. I'm literally sculpting the hair. The face, the dog, it could be a human, it could be any animal, it could be anybody. And the face is a series of arranged shapes. And everybody's unique. The dog is certainly unique. And she's got a hairy face. And so the hair creates shapes as it grows. And then, of course, I'm using my brush, particularly the hog bristle one, to create large strokes of fur. And then I'm using the direction the brush follows, the same direction as the hair grows on the dog's face. It kind of radiates out from the nose area. This is a very colorful dog in a way. I mean, it's got black, it's got tan, it's got white, it's got that beige color. And it's a limited palette, but yet it's a very colorful one as far as dogs I've done in the past. I'm working around the eyes. I keep coming back to the eyes, and then I work on other parts of the painting. And I will add details to those eyes later that'll really make them pop. And the dog has a little bit of a smile. Have you noticed that? This one, not all dogs smile. They grimace sometimes, but the smile is a very unusual for a dog to be able to do that. But this dog, look at this, it does. You know, that's the photograph down in the corner on my reference. And, you know, there's a little bit of a smile there. I don't want to overplay that, though, because then it'll look fakey. But just a little bit of a smile. Now, when you're doing this kind of a dog, you want to, it's like a sculptor working with clay, but in this particular case, it's paint. I can create kind of a 3D concept, you know, that looks three-dimensional by how the light falls upon the face of the dog. But the fur and that working dark to light is what makes the fur look like fur. And the hair has highlights that you want to try to capture. And fortunately, I have an adorable subject. I guess the best compliment I ever received from a client was that the dog looked like, not just looked like itself, but that it looked like the fur was real. Those are the highlights on the eyes. They're critical to give the dog life. And there's her rabies tag. I thought I'd include that. She had just gotten it. She was very proud of it. What do you think? Do you like it? I think she does. What do you think? What do you think? It turned out pretty well, I gotta say. And now we'll hang it together. But since you don't have opposable thumbs, I'll do all that work too. So, but anyway, hey, thanks for joining me in the studio. See you next time.